Doma Sports Talk worldwide with some news from the world of boxing. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now, I'm gonna tell you, 2025, it's gonna go down. It's gonna be a lot of stuff going down in 2025 because what's happening now, because of a Turkey Alashi giving us good fights, then everybody's gonna be forced to have good fights. Even the fighters are gonna be forced to fight each other because people are going to stop buying that other stuff, stop paying attention to fights that we know aren't the fights that we want. One of the great fights are going to be David Morell versus David Benavidez. David Morell versus David Benavidez, I think it's February the 1st. We're seeing the lead up now. Both of these guys are confident. They're doing a good job of promoting the fight. But for those who are not into promotions or really don't know who these guys are, these are two great fighters. Two great fighters, two young fighters in their prime, and they're heroes. And I don't call a lot of people heroes in boxing, but there's heroes because David Morrell versus David Benavidez shouldn't be happening without a belt being on the line. Actually, I consider this fight a fight that's worthy of an undisputed fight, right? That's how good I think both of these guys are. I think they're worthy of an undisputed fight. And if a Canelo Alvarez didn't exist, we would have had this fight as an undisputed fight. Or if Canelo Alvarez would have been forced by the sanctioning bodies, be it the WBA, where David Morrell was his mandatory for over 2 years, or the WBC, where David Benavidez was his mandatory for over 2 years at 168 pounds. But them just letting Canelo Alvarez not obey by the rules and the sanctioning bodies in daylight, just doing these things, they should have stripped Canelo and let these guys fight for undisputed, right? That's how good they are. Canelo just basically, I'm not fighting either one of those guys, and I'm not mentioning them either. Some people would mention David Benavidez from time to time, but they knew David Morrell has given up on Canelo. Even though, think about it, he's the WBA regular champion. When the regular WBA said, we don't want regular champions, we're going to make them fight the other champion, the real champion. But because of Canelo, they just didn't. So these guys never, ever got an opportunity at 168 pounds, the super middleweight division, to get a belt, actually. Benavidez didn't get a chance to fight Canelo, the WBC champion. Morrell couldn't fight him as a WBA champion. So they have to move up in weight and now fight. And because of Bivol and Beterbiev being the top dogs there, they're fighting for some interim title, and the winner will get the winner of the other fight. But this is wrong how they've been treated. And normally fighters just say, okay, well, I'll go fight somebody easy or whatever and see if I can get in a position to fight one of the champions, be it Bivol or Beterbiev at 175 pounds or something like that. But both of them to say, hey, look, we're looking for you. Morrell ain't supposed to be looking for Benavidez. Benavidez ain't supposed to be looking for David Morrell. Fans shouldn't even be wanting them to fight. If you are a fan of boxing, you should have been telling everybody, sanction bodies, get Canelo's ass up out of here with that crap, right? He has to either fight mandatories like everyone else or get the hell out of here and fight the Jake Pauls of the world and all of that, so we can have some real fights so these guys can get legacy before moving up to that division. Now, going up to 175 pounds, I think they're awesome, but I don't know if they're going to beat Beterbiev and Bivol. I would like one of these guys to at least have fought for undisputed before going up, had an opportunity to have gone up, at least being a unified champion before moving to the next division. Think about this. So in 2 years, people can say to both of those guys, who were the obvious best guys at a super middleweight division, that you have no legacy. What did you do at 168 pounds? That's what they're gonna do to them. They do it to most all the fighters. They'll tell you Shakur Stevenson ain't got no resume. Demetrius Andrade ain't got no resume. They'll just tell you. They ain't got no resume. Who have they fought? Knowing that the guys who's supposed to be something just won't fight them. And the sanction bodies, if you don't force them to, then you could just say that. So in 2 years, Benavidez and Morrell, especially Morrell, ain't fought nobody. Benavidez at least got Andrade on his ledger. But at the end of the day, they're heroes because they're going up to this division and giving us all a great, great fight for two guys in their prime that are obviously super awesome. They were 1 and 2 at 168 pounds. They're both in front of Canelo to me. I think both of them beat Canelo in a different way. Right? Both of them beat Canelo. I would say Canelo at 168 pounds, if you ask me, is about like the fourth. I still got Canelo behind Andrade. So I would say about the fourth, which is not bad. Canelo's still a pretty good fighter, but he just refuses to prove it, right? Because at the end of the day, he doesn't have to, because there'll be fans that'll say, well, he's better than these guys. Watch him avoid them openly, but he's better than them. So at the end of the day, David Morell versus David Benavidez shouldn't have to be fighting right now, but they are. They're willing, they're able, they want to do this for themselves, for their legacy, for the fact of, and this is where these great fighters are. We have a few. These great fighters who are very, very confident, most of them are not liked, right? But what they have in common is it's just real simple. They do not tolerate someone else in their division that somebody's calling great. Okay? It's really that simple. Like, who the hell you calling great in my division? And they will go get them actively, right? There's a lot of fighters around that just don't do it, act like they didn't hear it. They don't know about the guy. What has the other guy done? This and that. But those great ones, when you say somebody's awesome in their division, you don't have to say nothing else. They go get them. Think Terrence Crawford is going to tolerate somebody in his division that's awesome? Think Alexander Usyk going to tolerate somebody in their division that's awesome? Matter of fact, you know who else don't do that? Devin Haney. Devin Haney, since he's been 21 years old, who's supposed to be good? And there's just not one of those guys that was supposed to be good around Devin Haney who he did not actively go try to get. It's a couple other ones that are just not hitting me right now. That's what they have in common. It's very simple. You say who's awesome in or around their division, they go actively after them. The ones that you're like, don't. And start finding excuses not to. It's very simple. So a David Morell and David Benavidez ain't having it that somebody in their division is supposed to be called great, because they go and handle that to find out, no, I'm greater than whoever the hell y'all talking about. That's what makes them heroes. Very, very simple. So enjoy the fight February the 1st. We'll talk about it more. Doma Sports Talk. Worldwide. Thanks, guys. And I'm up out of here.